Hey everyone, today is Friday, February 26, 2010, and I'm here with Michael Zippi. He's going to tell us a little bit about his surfboard, the Zippifish, and the breakdown on each model. Alright, so this first board is called the Standard. Tell us about it, please.
Well, the Standard is basically the first board that we designed. And it's basically a 6-foot board. It's 21 7/8 inches wide, and it's 2 7/8 inches thick. So the width, like I said, is 21 7/8, and the thickness in the middle is 2 7/8. And the reason this board got the name Standard is because it's the very first board that I made, and it's the standard as to what all the rest of the boards were basically taken from. It has what I believe is a 10-inch, well, it has a 9.5-inch tail, and it's a twin fin. It's very fast, fairly loose. It's not a real high performance board, but it will go vertical. It's extremely fast on the line and a very fun board to ride. It's actually a board that I would call a rhythm surfing board, which takes back to some of the older styles of surfing where you could rhythm surf and just have a lot of fun on a board. So this is the Standard.
Cool.
I have a brand new 6'2", which is what we call the grouper. It should have probably a 9.5 to 10-inch tail, which is a little bit wider. It's a little over, probably 22 inches wide at the width, so it's a little bit wider. It's made for a guy coming off of a mid-range board to a long board. This tail actually is also 9.5 inches wide. It's also 2 7/8 inches thick. The width on this particular board is 22, and once again you can see it's another twin fin. The slot, which you can see right here, was basically put in the boards to help the boards come around easier in turns, in roundhouse cutbacks, and also in just turning it helps the board turn a little bit better. It doesn't really add to the speed. A lot of people think it's a speed channel, but it really has nothing to do with that. It's just for turning primarily. And once again, it has a flatter rocker. Now the grouper is, the reason we got the name the grouper is because these boards, anything from 6 foot and above is considered a grouper, because it's for guys who are riding long boards or mid-range boards that want a thicker, wider board, and to give them a little bit more float and a little bit more ability to catch waves and have a lot more fun. I have a 511 here, which is the beginning of the Redline. Now the Redline is a board that's a little bit narrower. They usually start out at 21 3/4, so they're an 1/8 inch narrower. They're usually 2 3/4 thick, so they're a little bit thinner. They're a much more high-performance-y board. They go vertical better. This particular board probably has a 9 1/4 inch tail, so it has a little narrower tail. And this particular board is probably 2 3/4 thick or wide, 2 3/4, and it's probably, or 21 3/4, excuse me, and it's probably 2 3/4 thick. The reason we gave the boards under 6 foot the name the Redline is because we have a few customers who ride some very large waves, double overhead, and they came back in one day after riding some double overhead waves on a 5.9 and said that they could not figure out where the board Redline's at, because they were making everything they took off on. The board had plenty of speed and was just really a lot of fun. So that's where these boards got the name of Redline. They go vertical much better. Um, they're lighter weight, and they're just a really good surfing board. This actually, all the fish will probably surf anything from knee high to double overhead without any problem, flat faced or vertical. They work very well in all types of surf. So I've been fairly fortunate with these boards. They've just been kind of a gift from God as far as being a board that works really well in all types of conditions and are very fun boards. This one right here, I think is a 5.8, but I'm not sure. Look, it is a 5.8.
It's a 5.8.
This one was originally set up as a quad. We did a lot of experimenting with the quads. The quads don't seem to work quite as well as the twins do. I know there's a big buzz about quads in the industry, but for my boards, the quads seem to detune the board. I know we've had a lot of people who ride quads who have tried my board and argued before they had a chance to try it that a quad is a much better board, and after they've ridden it, they were really amazed at how well the board worked, because everybody thinks a quad holds in better and turns better, and they were really shocked and surprised at how well this board holds in and turns. This particular board is 21 5/8, and I believe it says it's 2 5/8 thick. And this board is ridden easily double overhead waves without any problem at all. The guy that owned this board was actually 6'2" and weighed 210 pounds, and had no problems in any type of surf with this board. So I hope that is a little help as determining or deciding what kind of board you would like to ride.
Tell me about the fin setup. What exactly is going on with the keel fins that you have? Is there standard size? Are there options? What do you feel works best?
The keel fins, we designed the keel fins specifically for the board. They're actually my template, my design. They have a fairly large base, which allows the board to hold in extremely well, and also gives the board really a lot of drive. As you can see, it's a swept back keel fin as opposed to a vertical keel fin like a lot of other fish manufacturers have, which gives the board an extreme amount of drive. When we first designed the fins, I thought possibly they were going to be a little bit stiff, but I was actually shocked at how loose the board is and how well they work. Like I said before, the difference between the keels and the quads, when the quads first came out, my theory is a lot of the fish manufacturers had extremely wide tails and were a little bit more parallel in the hips because the tails were anywhere from 10.5 to 12.5 inches wide. So it really kind of paralleled up the hips. So for surfing backside, they were spinning out and sliding out because they wouldn't hold in. Where I had changed the design, the keels hold in very well. So what the other manufacturers did to compensate was to split their fins and make them keels, which spread the fins further apart, which gave them a basier fin. Well, because I already have a basy fin, it didn't really help the board any. And then actually, because of the because of the twin fins, it actually made the board stiffer, and it actually slowed it down. So we decided that the best way to go was to stick with the keel fins.
Cool, cool.
I hope that answers any of your questions about the fins.
Yeah, well, speaking about questions, people can get a hold of you, right? They can call you directly and ask questions. I know I've always been able to.
Absolutely. I believe my cell phone number is on the site, and I answer the phone myself personally. You'll never get another person. If I don't answer my phone, it's because I'm in a bad reception area or something, and I'll immediately get back to you if you leave
Cool. And also, for those who don't know, you do demos, correct?
I do have demos. Unfortunately, I don't have quite as many demos as I used to have, but I can give most people a demo board that they can try and experience a fish if they've never experienced a fish before, so they can actually get an experience of what a fish rides like. And they're free to ride it for a few days. It's not something you have to come and get, and you can take it for an hour and bring back. You can have it for a few days to try it in a few different conditions or a few different spots. You know, if you live a ways away and you want to get to your favorite spot, so you can try it out against and know what it rides like because you know your spot.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.